The balcony and the dance floor is a metaphor from adaptive leadership theory, describes the need for leaders to alternate between the two perspectives, being on the dance floor, which means being actively engaged in the day-to-day work, and then going up onto the balcony so that you step back to observe the patterns, to be able to strategize and gain a broader view. Mastering the transition between the two is crucial for effective leadership. Staying on the dance floor can lead to being stuck in the details, while spending too much time on the balcony can lead to detachment. So we need to be in both. So on the dance floor, we want to be physically and mentally immersed with our people, with our teams, with the daily tasks. We want to be able to provide hands-on support, listen to concerns, providing mentorship, addressing immediate issues as they arise, and being responsive. So keeping a finger on the pulse of what the team's reality is to ensure that things run smoothly. Now, I would say here, providing support and addressing immediate issues doesn't mean that you have to fix them. You might need to identify the solution, but that doesn't mean that you have to fix them. Being in leadership means that you identify the solution. You may then also delegate somebody else to resolve it or to implement. When you're on the balcony, you're observing from a distance. So when you take that step back, you're able to see the bigger picture and identify the patterns. Strategic thinking is reflecting on the long-term vision, evaluating the overall dynamics and planning for the future. Gaining perspective, so understanding the overall trends and dynamics that are not visible when you're in the middle of the action. This is why it's important. We need to find the right balance. It's not about choosing one over the other, although I would argue, dependent on what leadership position you are in, you will probably be spending more time on the balcony because you might have team leaders that are on the dance floor and step up and brief you on the balcony. So they might come in and be in the detail and have that next level of detail to share with you, and you might be on the balcony. We also don't want to become too disengaged that we don't know the reality of what's happening. And I think probably all experienced when you have a senior manager who hasn't been on the dance floor for a long period of time and doesn't get how quickly things can change. So not necessarily choosing one over the other, but to master the ability to move between them. Don't forget, you can also use your team to help you to move between them. Using the insights gained from the balcony will inform and improve the actions taken on the dance floor and vice versa. You want to avoid the pitfalls of staying too long on the dance floor because that leads to reactive leadership. Too much time on the balcony, there is that risk of losing connection to reality. If you are in a position where you feel you need to be spending more time on the balcony, the communication between yourself and your leaders who are on the dance floor and moving between the two needs to be really good. And this is where often the reactive leadership comes in. If people feel they don't have great communication or that information isn't coming up to the balcony, they have to go down. What we want to do is make sure if we're visiting the dance floor that we're not there all night and getting kicked out when the lights come on. So it's a visit and then a return, making sure that you are in a position where you have the best viewpoint to make the decisions that you need to make.